Welcome to Roxtalks. My name is Roxanne Wilson, and this is an unprecedented, unplanned episode. In fact, I'm sliding this in between some pre-planned episodes we had for you because we got to talk about what's going on. We got to talk about the elephant in the room. We have to talk about the pandemic that is coronavirus. And I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to talk to you about it from a doctor's perspective. Yeah, I do a lot of research, but again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health professional. But what I am a professional in is business. And so what I want to talk to you all about, my network marketers, my people, my community, is how this affects you from a business perspective. So let's dive right in, shall we? We're just going to roll right in. Okay. So first and foremost, and this is something that I have been already preaching to my members in social stories, and I want you to hear it as well too. When something like this happens, when a major event, an unexpected event happens, there's a lot of anxiety that goes along with it, right? Can you agree? We all go through it. I've gone through anxiety through this already. And I think really for me, because I work from home, and I'm a news junkie. That's the lawyer still in me. I went through the anxiety a couple weeks ago. The week of the summit, if you recall the summit, I was all in, like, home the whole time, just doing everything and being everything. And as a result, I was seeing everything. And about 3 or 4 days in, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm starting to feel anxiety. And I'm not typically an anxious person. That's not who I am. I'm unflappable, cool under pressure. But I started feeling the anxiety of oh my goodness, should I even be leaving the house? What's going on? All those things. It was the end of February for those of you who want to mark the date. And so what I did was I had to, like, you almost have those out of body experiences where I had to look at myself and go, Roxanne, you need to calm down. Easier said than done. It's more than just a Taylor Swift song. But I had to, like, take a step back and go, listen, everything you've known in life has proven this. So why is it that this thing is changing and now you are freaking out? You need to calm down. And so I had to go back to the basics of what do I usually do when I'm calm? Who is the Roxanne that's calm and is unflappable? So I was like, have you been praying about this? Well, no, I haven't. Well, maybe I should do that. So I did a lot of prayer. And then I went to 2 sources, and they might interest you or surprise you, but 2 sources for me that I felt like I can, like, get the skinny, feel good, ask the questions. The first one was my sister, my little sister, believe it or not, or my younger sister, I should say. And that's because she's a doctor. And so I wanted to talk to a doctor about it. Also because part of me was concerned about her. I mean, she works in a hospital, in a clinic. But I wanted to make sure she was okay. That's the big sister in me. But also I wanted her to comfort me with reality, just give it to me straight. So we had a nice long conversation about it, and I was able to ask questions like, I've heard this, what do you know, what's this, what's that? Should I be getting this? Should I be getting this? Like, should I be doing all these things? And so that helped me get a good grasp on what is the likelihood of this virus, attacking me, attacking my home, and what does that look like, and am I okay with it? So I was able to, it's funny, it's like, for me, I am, and we all are this way, but I am very emotional, and but I'm also very, like, brainy, heady, smart. I have those 2 things in me. And so I needed to talk to her about the heady stuff and, like, really process that. And the second call I made was my dad. Because my dad is the one, because I'm the emotional one, he's the one who was like, when I was like, Roxanne, why are you crying? Like, he wants his daughters to be strong and has always raised us to be strong and independent, all these things. And so I needed to talk to him and go and find out, how does he feel about this? And he talked me through the emotional side. Even though he's not the emotional guy, I needed to talk to him about, like, okay, what are your thoughts on this? Okay, all right, got it. And so from my sister, I learned about risk factors, and I learned about ages, and would these, what is this going to make a difference? Is that going to make a difference? What's going to happen? And from my dad, it was one of those, Roxanne, do you, like, at the end of the day, do we really know what's going on? And in end of February, it had hit here, but in different ways. But it was like, he was kind of like, okay, but people are buying all these random masks, some this and that. Is it really, do you know that it's going to make a difference? And I'm like, no. I say, okay, so what, when you're changing your behavior, but no one has that, is well informed, does it make sense to stop living your life? I'm like, no. Okay, I'm going to live my life for however long it is. So those two things made me feel good. And with the prayer like made it all feel, the soup was good, right? The prayer, that was the juice of it. And so I was able to move forward. But I'm telling you, I'm like, I'm feeling anxious. I turned to Scott and I was like, I'm getting anxious about this. What the heck is going on? So, but that was my process time. That was me. I need that time to process. And again, because I watch the news, whether it's good or bad, I do. I had my runway for Corona had been coming. I was watching the things going on in China. So this was not a surprise. Now, for most people, that's not the case. For most people, they are now, like, the beginning of February was the realization, or maybe the end of February, I should say, and March has been this, like, whoa, this is hitting me. The other thing is I live in Southern California. I'm not far from Los Angeles. And so the reality of the fact of, like, I don't live in a podunk town where the odds of it getting to me are slim. It's probably going to get to me. This is something that's airborne. Okay, and I'm not telling you any of this to, like, freak you out. This is the reality of it, and I had to come to terms with it. And once I did, I need to process it because that's who I am. Like, let me process it, and then I can be a rock for everyone else. Then I can be the unflappable one. Then I can be the one that's like, it's all going to be okay. I even came to terms with the fact, I'm like, yeah, I probably will get it. We probably will get this, but it's going to be okay. That I don't know if those are like the stages of grief, whatever you want to call them, enables me to stand here today and talk to you about it. It enables me to keep going and doing all the things that I do. And I'm like, really, like, and live my life. It enables me to go to Costco when I can't find paper towels that I legitimately need. That was last week. We can have to go by the time you're listening to this. And, like, go, okay, well, guess we're going to be washing washcloths for a while because there's nothing, because everyone else is freaking out. Okay, so I tell you that because I want you to know I've been there, like, legitimately been there, legitimately thought maybe I shouldn't leave my house, maybe I should stop going to the gym, maybe all these things. And I'm at a point now where I am living my life. There are changes I'm making, yes. I was washing my hands, but I was country before country. When country wasn't cool, as Barbara Mandrell would say. So I was washing my hands beforehand. But there are things I'm being more cautious about and making decisions on, do I want to do that or not? But I'm still doing things like, I got my nails done. And when I went with my girlfriend to get our nails, we went to go get our nails done yesterday. It's a ghost town. But I'm also cognizant of the fact that there are people who are hurting, their businesses are dying because everyone is rushing away. Not to say that it's right or wrong to hibernate or to quarantine, just to quarantine. I'm not saying that. But what's happening to our economy and the world economy is very, very interesting. And so, to me, when I make those calculated decisions and go, okay, on a risk evaluation, am I going to go to the grocery store today? Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm also going to bring my wipes and wipe down my shopping cart, but I probably should have been doing that anyway, right? Okay, so that's my, hey, I understand you, and I do, and I really do. And it's interesting because I am not, like, I was the girl when there's a national thing that happens, whether it's like amazing or it's a catastrophe, I'm the girl who was glued to the TV and you have to try and pull me away. Katrina, I watched more Katrina going on during Katrina than anyone probably should have. Same thing with 9/11. Like, in those moments, Ashley Banfield, and she was my girl. I watched all that because I want to know what's going on. That's some weird, like, nerdy thing of mine, I suppose. And when I know what's going on, I don't feel, people talk about frequencies and how it's like, you shouldn't watch the news, it's a low frequency. But honestly, when I watch the news, I feel like I'm at high frequency because I have this knowledge and I understand what's going on. Now, that being said, I probably, like, over and inundate those that my loved ones. So I'm like, and this happened, this happened, this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And Twitter is obviously, you find out things on Twitter before you find out about it on the news. So I'm checking my Twitter feed, all those things. But like I said, it also, to me, I feel empowered in that way. That's just me. Now, what does it mean for your business? Because if you're listening to this podcast, you have 99.9% of you have a online network marketing business. The rest of you have a online business or your own business. And so it's like, what do things look like right now for you? Because things are changing. Things are looking a lot different, right? And that's what I want to talk to you about today, because I'm hearing a lot of things. I'm seeing a lot of things. I'm kind of closing my eyes and trying to unsee certain things, because let's be real, network marketers. Would you say you have the best rap? We have the best rap. We don't have the best rap. We don't have the best rap in the world, right? We deal with things like, oh, you're a pyramid scheme. We deal with things like, oh, do you really make money? And the answer is no, you're not a pyramid scheme. And yes, you really do make money. But whenever something happens that is not how I would conduct business, and probably you would either, it hurts the industry. When there's a lawsuit that happens, people always think, oh, if it happens to one, then they're all bad. There is a stigma when it comes to being a network marketer. And one of the things that I really believe in is getting rid of that stigma, because it shouldn't be there, because this is a legitimate and awesome way for so many people around the world to make an income and to make a difference and to change their lives and change the lives of people they know. That's legitimate. That's the case. That's the truth. I can give you social proof of people that you're like, oh, do you have a network marketing business? But I'm not going to do that, because you already know that. But in the same vein, just like there being bad apples in anything, a bad apple spoils the whole bunch. And because there's so many network marketers, guess what? There are people who spoil the bunch. So if you're hearing advice hey, listen, this is the time you need to get out there on social media and talk about how great it is to have your network marketing business, because you work from home and you don't have to deal with Corona this or Corona that. I'm going to say, big foul. Please don't do that. I don't care how successful the upline who told you to do that is. Stop. I don't care how successful you've been. I don't care if the head of your company is telling you to do that. Does that feel right to you? I don't think it does, because I believe that if you're listening to my podcast, we have some type of connection, and and something in you goes, that feels sticky. That feels too soon. That doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right because it isn't right. Now, don't get me wrong. We are business people, which means, and we're entrepreneurs, which if you're a true entrepreneur, that means that you see a problem, which could be a problem. Another word for problem, a mass problem, is a crisis. So we see that and we're able to create or provide a solution. Yes, that's true. But that does not mean that we're doing it we should never prey on people's fears to do that. You get me? So I would encourage you to step back. And if you are thinking that you need to post things that you're like, oh my gosh, my job is amazing because I work from home. I don't have to deal with all of the, social distancing. I've got that, or whatever you're putting in. Then you say something like, you should join me in business. Please stop that. Please don't do that. But you're saying to yourself, but Roxanne, I need to keep doing my business. You do, and I want you to. So let me give you the steps that I recommend that you take from this point going forward to have sanity for yourself and also continue your business. And I'll be real, this is not going to be like roses. This is a hard time in our life, in the world. And so I don't want you to sit there and be surprised if maybe your organizational volume goes down, or you don't make as much money in March or April or May or even June. That's the reality of what's happening. That could definitely happen. But there's some things you can do that will help you along the way. The first thing is, before you do anything or start thinking about anything, you get these emails and maybe you've got the torture, the water torture of someone telling you need to be doing X, Y, and Z. Like you need to be posting, My first thing to you is you need to take care of yourself. I want you to notice something. I started this by telling you my personal journey of having some sanity and all that's going on. Why did I do that? Because I want you to do that for you as well too. This is traumatic. Any type of thing that's unexpected is a little bit of trauma or a lot of trauma. And so it's natural for you to feel uneasy. And just because you're the rock, and for many of you, you're the rock of your family, I mean, you're the matriarch, does not mean that you can't be scared. It does not mean that you can't feel anxious, but I do want you to stop for a moment. Don't sweep it under the rug. I want you to identify it. I want you to recognize it. And then I want you to do what you need to do to feel okay with it. And those anxious times, they're going to crop up at different times. You're going to see something on the news, or something's going to happen, or you're going to get that note saying school's canceled if you haven't already, or hey, someone in your area has it, or hey, you have been exposed. It could likely freak you out. So I need you to take care of yourself first, because you know this because you tell others. You cannot take care of yourself, others, unless you take care of yourself. So in this moment, I need you to come to terms with what's going on and to realize or expect that it's probably going to get worse before it gets better in different ways. And I don't know the exact ways. We're just going to experience that together. But I want you to, if you need to do more prayer, if you need to really get onto that gratitude journal. So even in all of this, in the midst of all of this, you're finding the gratitude in all of it. I need you to go ahead and do that. I need you to do that. I need you to take care of yourself and your body, which means I need you to get some sleep. Y'all, we need to get some sleep. If you talk to functional doctors, medicine and whatnot, who do it, they will tell you that sleep is dire. You hear that all the time. Right now, you getting sleep is so important, not only for your mental, but it's also going to help your immunity system. And I'm not a doctor, told you that from the beginning, but the stronger your immune system is, the better you're going to do with all of these things, right? And by the way, worrying depletes your immunity. So that's another reason to get the worry out of there. If you need to scream to Wanda, like in Fried Green Tomatoes, to feel better, then please do it. If you need to do yoga, you need to work out. Working out is great. And if you're like, Roxanne, I'm not doing the gym anymore, that's fine. But find some way to get some workout going on at home. Eat the food, and it's okay to eat the food that makes you feel good, but also eat the food that's good for you during this time, okay? And show yourself some grace. That is so important. Do that for me. Show yourself some grace through this, okay? Those are the first big things. The second thing I want you to do is take care of your people, take care of your tribe, take care of your familia. Make sure they're okay as best as you can. And I say your tribe because it may be your not just your family, but your close friends. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do for them. And then once you've gotten that done, taking care of yourself and taking care of your peeps, then you can start focusing on your business. Then, okay, you're like, Roxanne, my company would not like you right now. I don't care. It's okay. I care about you, and I need you to be okay. And if you are not okay with step 1 or step 2, your business is not going to, there's no point. There's no point. Okay? So when you're ready to start thinking about your business, I want you to have some reality checks to begin with. I want you to be pleasantly surprised if you hit the numbers you've been hitting over the last couple of months. You might, but I don't want you to be depressed if you didn't. And if you don't, I don't want you to sit there and go, oh my gosh, I did something wrong. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Listen, I love taking responsibility. You know that. I believe we should take responsibility for our businesses, but at the end of the day, there are some things that are out of our control. So the number you hit, so if you don't hit that number, then your responsibility is you picked the wrong number for this. Okay? I don't want you to go, I should have done more, because you shouldn't. Okay? So what should you be doing for your business? Well, couple things. The experts out there are saying some things that I think are really interesting and probably really accurate. They're saying that when this is over, and this will be over, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And we can see that when we look at China, and part of the, like, seeing all this and watching what happened in China over the last couple months, it is warm. It's heartwarming to for me to see that they're closing down some of these makeshift hospitals they made, and things are getting back to the new normal. But 2 things they say are going to be significantly different after it's all said and done. Number 1, online shopping is going to go up even more than it did already. Even more. People are online shopping anywho, but it's going to go up because right now people don't want to go out there, right? People, right now they don't want to go out there, so they're getting into the groove of online shopping, and that's only going to increase. So if you have an online business, that doesn't hurt you at all. In fact, that helps you, The other thing, before we talk about what you can do, the other big thing that they say, the experts say is going to happen because of the coronavirus, because of this pandemic, is that the opportunity, ability, and the flavor of working from home is going to increase. And that's in different ways. So for the 9-to-5 businesses that already have the work at home capabilities, like you look at Amazon, who was very quickly able to say, hey, everyone in Seattle, work from home. And then they said a few days later, everyone in the US works for Amazon, work from home. That's because they have the capabilities ready, because they're ahead of the curve, right? Then there are other companies, I won't name them all because I don't want to call them out, but I can think of some who can't even, they don't have the infrastructure, but you better believe they're having a lot of conversations. I know this firsthand about how can we do the work from home in the future if we need to, because they can't even move on a dime, and they're struggling with the fact of like, dang, we got to keep them, we have to keep people coming to work, but we really wish they could work from home right now. Safety wise, that would make more sense. Okay. So you're going to see even the 9-to-5 big companies focusing on working from home. But the other thing you're going to see is this. There are a lot of people who are working from home right now, or hopefully work from home. Some of them don't have work, and that's a whole nother sad thing because of people not going out and companies and things closing, schools closing. But they get the taste of working from home, and guess what, by Jove, they enjoy it. And so now the idea and the flavor of working from home is something that is going to be more palatable, that people are going to want more, or they're going to consider, how can I work from home and do this and my other job, and eventually switch and just do the work from home job. That's the reality of what's going to happen, right? So you're going to see that flavor of working from home, people are going to say, I don't ever want to go back to work. I like the idea of working from home. This works for me. Now, most of you, all of you have a business that is a work from home business. You might have, this might be your second or your third stream of income, and you might have a 9-to-5, but you also have this that you're doing from home. So you're already in that space. So remember what I just said. People are going to be wanting to shop online more, and they're going to want to do more work from home opportunities. Guess what you're an expert in? You're an expert in both of those things because you were in this business before all this happened. So now you're an expert on all those things. So doesn't that look and sound very interesting? So when we talk about what you should be doing right now for your business, there's two things I think you should be doing for your business. Number one, remember this is all after you've taken care of yourself and your tribe. Then you take care of your business. Number one, use this time to do your self-development. Use this time to be learning. For my members, where we've been working on their Instagram sales journey and their funnel and getting all those things in shape, you better believe I'm pushing them even more to get that done. Because this is a time where they can really continue to hone their craft, be even more of a leader, be even more of an expert on these things, so that your business can only grow. Because like I said, online shopping is going to go up. Home businesses are just going to go up. So if you have your feet firmly planted in that, it's going to be great. So don't stop learning. This is that time where you're like, okay, I'm going to be the student. I'm going to learn how to do these things. I'm going to get these things going and get the rhythm going. The other thing is, don't stop showing up on social media. Now, for some of you, you're like, I feel weird, Roxanne. Well, you probably feel weird because you're talking and you feel like you have to talk about things like, I have this great special going on, and you get 20% off of this, or oh my goodness, refer, and if you refer, you get a discount here, or oh, it's a build your own kit, you can build your own kit. Yeah, those things I'd feel uncomfortable about. I agree with you. But if you are showing up online consistently, and you're talking about things that maybe have nothing to do with directly buy my business, join me in business, or buy my product, but you're talking about you as someone who works from home, as a business person. You're talking about you as how you're adjusting to this. You're talking about all those pillars we talk about anyway. Under the flavor where we are, you're constantly showing up. Now, why is that important? Well, and this is good consistency, right? Not bad consistency. One reason it's really good is because when people are working from home right now, What are they going to be doing? And spending more time at home, right? We're socially distancing. We can't even watch March Madness. We can't go to that play we're going to go to, or see that musician we're going to go to, or do really much of anything. So we're going to be home. We're going to be hanging out with our fam and maybe some choice friends. But what we're also going to be doing is we're going to be spending a lot of time on social media. So if you are not showing up on your social media right now, you're doing yourself a disservice, because people are going to be there. So you need to be there. That does not mean you have to say, buy my stuff. It means you have to be present. Be present in posting on a regular basis on your social media platforms. Whatever cadence you feel like is right, make sure you're doing it. And if you have more time to do it because you don't have that in-person event or that wine party you had before, then do ramp it up some more. Okay? You want to show up. You want to make sure you're responding to people when they comment on your things. You want to make sure you're looking at your choice people. Make sure that you're reaching out to them. And you want to do all the things that I teach on a regular basis consistently. You want to do this. It's so important. Okay. Now, you're showing up consistently, and you're doing the do, and you're showing up on social media because people know you're there and they see you. Because then when it comes time, they're going to be there for you. Now, that is not to say that you're not going to post something that might not get them thinking. But I really believe that whatever you post online right now, you need to make sure it's about them and not about you. You need to make sure it's not about, I want you to join me in business, or, oh, I'm posting this just because I hope that you're going to like it, or you're going to be like, I need it, and make it about them with their feelings. So here's an example, because you're thinking about what you're going through in your life. So let's say you just got the call, it just happened here in Southern California, that school is closed for the next 2 weeks starting Monday. Okay. That's something that probably most likely you'd put on social media. Why wouldn't you, right? So maybe you put something like, okay, we got it, it's official. We are closed. We are closed for the next 2 weeks. The kids are home. And I got to tell you honestly, I would typically freak out about that. But I'm not freaked, because a year ago or 2 years ago, I was working that 9 to 5, and Jim works that 9 to 5 too. And so how on earth would we figure out the childcare thing? Or how on earth would we figure all this out? I'm thankful that I work from home now, so I don't have to worry about it. And you stop there. You don't say, you want to know what my business is? You should join me in business. You should do it too. You don't need to say that. You're telling a true story about how your life is changing now because the kids are going to be home. And I would even add to that, it's going to be a little difficult, because even though I work from home, the kids and us all in the same spot, I work from home. I am a professional. Maybe this is a different post you do later. I'm a professional. I do work from home, and now they're in my space, and I've got to make sure that they're learning, and they're doing their online learning, or they're figuring this all out too. And I'm getting my business done. And you talk about that. That's a real thing. That's like something people can relate to. And maybe you end that first example with something like, are your kids home? Ask them what's going on with them. Are your kids home? How are you guys juggling the kids coming home? Things like that are germane, and things like that, they feel right, because you're experiencing life. You're not sitting here going, my business. Because, and I don't remember if I said this at the beginning, I kind of alluded to it, but everything that a network marketer does, that an MLM or that a direct seller does, is under scrutiny. People already assume, oh, well, they're doing, Okay, there are organizations and groups that delight in just saying bad things and trolling network marketers. So if you go out there and you're like, buy right now, not like ain't no lie, buy, but buy my product right now, or join me in business, tee, now's the time, you're just being what all of the, what you're not, first of all, and what all those people assume you are as a network marketer. Lead with love, lead with thinking about them first, okay? All right, so you're gonna do that. Those are the things that you're gonna do. Now, if you had an event coming up and there's still people interested, that doesn't mean and it's an online event, you might switch it to online. Do your first Instagram group event, which are totally doable. And if you don't know how to do it, you can definitely email me, Roxanne at roxannewilson.com, and I will give you the skinny on how you can create an event on Instagram if that's the place. or go to the Facebook group events and do an event there, or get everyone on Zoom and do it. It's not to say that you stop your business, but you want to make sure, because but listen, stores are still open, but you want to make sure that when you're on social media, that your intent and that the first you're putting out there is about them. And if you do have an event coming up, you might say, listen, y'all, I have an event coming up next week, and we were supposed to do it in person. We're not. We're going to do it virtually because we want to have some sense of normalcy. So if you're interested, awesome, you can join us. And just be honest about it. If you feel weird about it, say, I feel weird. This is a different time. So be that person that's being relevant about it, but thinking about them first. Okay, the other thing you don't want to do, because it's America and we have a tendency to make like everything political these days, I want you to avoid any political conversations and commentary about what's going on right now. This is a health thing. And if you're like, no, Roxanne, it's political, it doesn't matter. You're a business person, so it is a health thing, right? You've got to remember, and listen, I'm telling you this, and I'll be really honest with you. I got some people real mad at me last election. You know, I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous. You're like, Roxanne, yeah, I'm not editing this out. I'm telling you straight up. My background, as most of you know, I am a Black female. I happen to be on The Apprentice with our president, and went on to do radio and television. So and I back in the day I wanted to be Supreme Court justice, which means I knew that as a Supreme Court justice you have to be agnostic about parties. You see no party, right? You see the law and you interpret the law. Now, why do I tell you that? Because when Facebook, as I call it, need to be put in timeout after the election, around the election, and I saw people in my network marketing business at the time saying all these things. I'm like, why are they saying that? Like, you know that 50% of the country feels this way and 50% of the country feels that way. What are you doing? I decided to get on my larger team page. And so like a few up from me, and to say, y'all, and I said, this is who I am, before you get mad at me, this is who I am. These are this is Roxanne, okay? You would never know what side of the political coin I'm on because you don't talk politics on social media. You don't do it because you're offending someone. And it's not worth it. And boy, would you know, I got some people mad at me. I was like, wait, I'm just trying to help you. I'm telling you that in my years of business, we don't do this. So why are you, network marketer online, deciding that you need to do this? You are hurting someone's feelings, and that is not worth it. Needless to say, so I'm telling you that, and you can get mad at me as well too. That's okay, but stay away from. Don't make it a political thing. It's a health thing. It's about our health, and while there are political aspects of it, yes, stay away from them online. You can have those conversations behind closed doors, but online for your store, you be your brand. And your brand does not have to have a political R or D behind it. It does not. Okay, I promise. Okay. The other thing I want you to think about when you're doing this is think about it as a long game, in the sense of this. When you're talking about strategy, this, like I said, you might have a great month and a great month after that and a great month after that. You never know. But I want you to think about it as a long game and not freak out, because when people know you're there and you're showing up for your business and they're seeing it because they're on social media like crazy, this will come back for you. I promise, or back to you. And the other thing I should say is this. Let's say your network marketing company is one of those shopping network marketing companies where it's like a shopping website and they sell everything. So let's say that you still have toilet paper, but people cannot get toilet paper in the stores, right? What do you do in that moment? You're not going to be the slimy Amazon person who's going to raise the rates of it to $150 and try and sell it. That's not cool, and I know you wouldn't do that. But this is what you could do, which would make a big difference in my opinion. You might post something and say, hey, I tried to get toilet paper and I know that toilet paper is not happening in the stores. I do, believe it or not, sell TP. Maybe it's something I talk about a lot, but I sell TP. And I think it's a shame that you can't get it at the store. I'm happy to offer you my TP at my cost. So in other words, I don't want to profit from you, but if you need TP and you don't have TP, shoot me a message and I will get you hooked up with it at my cost. And it says, boom. You don't say company, you don't go into like this and that. You make it as simple for them. You don't have them jump through hoops. You don't have them sign up as a whatever your premium customer, preferred customer, all those things for the customer. Auto ship, you don't do any of that. You just get them their TP as soon as possible. They will remember that because you are, and it may come back to you in different ways. Doesn't matter, but you can be a service to your community in that way, in that realm, because you happen to have TP. So think about that. If you have these things that people are looking for and they cannot find, then maybe you be the light and you be the conduit for that. Okay, so that's what I have for you, y'all. I want you to think about yourself and take care of yourself first, as in like get right with all these. Because listen, there's gonna be a lot of news that's gonna make people feel a lot of different ways, and I want you to get solid in you and be as unflappable as you naturally are. Don't be who you're not, but to be who you are. Take care of your family, and then take care of your business. And when you're taking care of your business, I want you to really think about working on you. Like, what can you do? So you don't have that event. Great, take that time and do some personal development and learn some more things to make yourself better at your trade, because you're a CEO, you're not a glorified salesperson, right? And then I want you to think about when you are posting, show up on social media, show up on social media. Make sure you're there on social media. And you may do it differently, but you shouldn't have been, let's be real, you shouldn't have been like bye anyway, right? Bye is only for NSYNC, right? You want that attraction marketing is so important. And I'm a big believer of that because it matters. So this might be a good time for you to start talking more like an attraction marketer and less like a spammy Tammy. Okay? That's what I have for you. And then I'm going to say it again on your mindset. Like, I just want you guys to know your mindset is going to determine how this all plays out for you. You decide. That's why you're starting with yourself first. You decide how this is all going to play out. You decide. That means when you get news that may not be the greatest, like, oh, your kids are coming home and you love them, but like they're out of school, and definitely you're able to find a common ground and a good solution to that. If you go in with the glass, the sky is falling penny, and the glass half full, then that's news. Any news you get, is going to be the worst news. But it doesn't have to be. You get to decide. So I encourage you to decide. You make that decision just like I did. It's your turn. Make that decision and then let that be the glasses, right? Like rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through. Old country song. Let that be the glasses, your lens that you look through everything in, okay? So that you can be the best you possible and that you can be that light for other people. All right, that's all I have today. Stay healthy. Shoot me a note. I'd love to know what you think about this. Whether you liked it, hated it, doesn't matter. I want to hear it. And I do want to thank you again for making this one of the top 100 podcasts in entrepreneurship. That's because of you, and I'm honored. And I can't wait to talk to you guys again next week. You're not ahead. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And I hope that you share this with someone you think needs to hear this too. And I'm honored that I get to be with you on this journey. All right, take care. See you next time.